Hottie Tarot Reader, and today we are going to have an interactive reading about your relationship with the person that you choose. So the first thing to do is to think of a person that you're curious about hearing your relationship with that person. So this doesn't need to be a love relationship. It could be family. It could be business. It could be a colleague. It could be a coworker. It could be a friend. All kinds of things. So it doesn't matter. It's just your relationship with that person. And it's more or less the current relationship. Relationships can change. This is the current where you're at right now. Okay. And so pick the name in your head. And then I have 3 readings that are represented by 3 words. And so you're going to choose either dream, whisper, or touch. Dream, whisper, or touch. Those are your words. Pick one of those words, and that's your reading. Okay, so we are going to start off with our dream people. And the first card is the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords, you can see that's a pretty sad looking card, right? The 9 of Swords. So the 9 of Swords is a card of despair and anxiety and just sadness and negativity, but in a very circular way. Meaning whatever negative thing, it doesn't have to be all bad, but whatever negative thing is going on in this relationship, it keeps going on. It's a circular pattern over and over. It's like every day or every week, it just comes back to whatever this negative scenario is, and that it's stressing you out and making you unhappy that you cannot get out of this negative cycle of this that's happening in this relationship. Now, it could be due to miscommunication. It could be, you know, the relationship between the two of you, you just is causing this negativity, just the way you guys interact. It could be that person is causing it, but for whatever reason, it's just this circular problem that you can't seem to get out of. Your next card is the 5 of Swords. The 5 of Swords, and the 5 of Swords is about I give up, defeat. I don't care. You know, I give up. It can be my fault. This all can be my fault. I will throw myself on the sword for this. I'm just can't fight this battle anymore. I'm tired of this circular negative issue. I don't need to be right. I'm just tired of it. And then the 3rd tarot card is the Queen of Wands. And so the Queen of Wands, I'm taking that to be you in this relationship. And if you're the Queen of Wands, then the Queen of Wands is a very competent, creative, positive person. So for instance, if this relationship was a family relationship, the Queen of Wands would be trying to create the best kind of family atmosphere. If this is a business relationship, the Queen of Wands, competent in business and also creative and good at being innovative and making and good with ideas. And if this is a love relationship, she would be coming in with just the freshest of romance and nurturing and all the things that you want in a love relationship. So I don't think it's you per se causing this problem. It could be the way 2 people interact. It could just be one triggers the other one to be a certain way, you know, it could be that. But it just, I feel like this relationship is beating you down, and that really you have a lot to offer. You have a lot to give to any kind of relationship. Once again, can be family, can be coworker, whatever. So then on the oracle card, it comes up with youth and like fresh ideas. And I feel like that in this relationship, I feel like there might be a way to to rescue it with like a new perspective and a fresh idea about it, but I don't think it's going to come from the two people in it. That's the problem. So I don't see it changing. It is too circular. I don't see it changing from either of you people. It might somehow change if if someone else intervened, but I don't see it changing with you guys. And then the last oracle card is says you have the ability to prosper, and that tells me that this relationship is weighing you down and that you actually have so much to give on your own. You really are the complete package on your own. And so this relationship isn't really serving you because you really could have it going on, but you don't because of this circular negative spiral that keeps happening, over and over and over again. So that is the relationship of you and whoever you thought of. And once again, it can be any aspect in your life if you chose dream. Okay. So if you chose whisper, then let's see, and you hopefully have picked your person. So let's talk about that relationship. So the first card is the Six of Cups in reverse, the Six of Cups in reverse. And what this is about, this tells me it's an old relationship. This has been around for a while. This is a long, long relationship. And it's hard because life has changed so much, and that you had a relationship of some kind so many years ago, and that life has changed. You're changed, but life has changed. And so as a result, you can't live in that relationship anymore. It doesn't work anymore. And so it's a nostalgic and it's sad in a way because you don't get to live in that old relationship because of life. And so it's just sad because this is a long relationship, and by virtue of it being a long relationship, it could mean that it was a really good relationship, but the past is the past, and you don't get to live in the past. You can remember it, but you don't get to dwell on it. So the next card is the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is a card about protecting yourself and just being tired of protecting yourself, sort of just weary of having it's draining your energy for whatever reason in this relationship. You feel it necessary to protect yourself. It feels like it could be also that you're protecting the relationship, but I don't really get that. I feel like you're really getting chipped away a little bit, and you're just tired of it's not easy anymore. The relationship isn't easy. It probably was easy in the old relationship because it's an old one. But now it feels like you're on guard and you're constantly, protecting yourself, and you're just so weary of that. You're just so tired of that. And that you it's just sucking at your strength, and it's kind of messing with the happiness of it's not kind of, it really is messing with the happiness of the relationship. Like the relationship should be fine. It's just that for whatever reason, you're feeling that you're constantly, maybe you're being judged, maybe you're being poked at, something. There's something that making you feel like you have to protect yourself all the time in this relationship. And then your third card is the 10 of Swords reversed. And what this is telling me is that you are ready to move on, that you've actually have learned a lot about yourself in this relationship. Because remember, from what I can figure out, this relationship is old and it was fine, and then somewhere along the line life changed, and it's not as fine as it used to be. And so you've learned a lot of who you are in it, and you've just learned a lot from it, but you kind of want to get out of it now. You just, and it's a long time relationship, so that's not necessarily easy to do, and that you're sort of gathering yourself back together because you've just been sort of pulled apart a little bit, and so you're picking up the pieces of yourself and you want to move on. And it might not look like a big blow up. It might be a quiet thing, but you're just, but you have to you've been protecting yourself so long that now you just have to kind of pull yourself back together and sort of get the strength again to move on and be the strong person that you were, and you probably still are, but you're just not in this relationship. And so you need to move on, but you don't, once again, it doesn't have to be a big, I'm out of here moment. It can just be a quiet, okay, this doesn't feel like a safe space anymore. I'm going to withdraw quietly and not make a big stink out of it. But also, I just don't have the energy to protect myself anymore here. Okay, and then in the oracle card on this one is Zenial, and one of the suggestions it has is it has diplomatic solutions, and I thought, yeah, that's what this needs, is a diplomatic solution. So in other words, you don't need to be right and they're wrong, and they don't need to be right and you're wrong, and you don't need to talk about it unless you want to, but you don't need to do any of that stuff. You just need to decide that this is not the same relationship as it was in the past, and it doesn't feel good because you're defending yourself, or in your mind you're defending yourself all the time. And so now you just need to have this diplomatic not necessarily end to the relationship, but maybe a like disappearing into the vapor a little bit, just a lesser fading out of the relationship, not necessarily an end, but just a fading out. And then the last card is listen to your inner compass, and that to me is more of the same. It's saying, you are you know what you need. You know that this protection piece is exhausting you, and that the inner compass, listen to your inner compass. If your inner compass is telling you, go this direction, then go that direction, because you need to go to safety. And safety would definitely mean you would have to be defending yourself over and over again. Okay. All right. So that is the whisper people. And then the last relationship is my people who picked touch. Okay. So touch, the first card is the 9 of Pentacles in reverse, the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. And this card is a card of instability. It's a card of neediness or dependency. And now in this scenario, it could be that the other person isn't stable, or they seem to be needy, or it could be that the relationship creates that kind of that neediness, and there's something about the relationship that's creating that relationship itself is being needy and unstable and lacks, and like it can be kind of lacks security, so once again, this could be the other person that is a little wonky, like just not solid, a little reckless at times, or it could be the relationship is that way. So then the next card is the Judgment card, upside down, Judgment. And Judgment is more of the same, actually. It's indecision, and it's doubt, and that, and it is it can mean lack of self-awareness or gossip. And so I know that even if it is the person, it's bleeding into the relationship. So it could be just the relationship itself, or it could be this person is just kind of like, you can't count on them. You can't count on them to do what they're going to say they're going to do. They're just a little wacky, a little loose, and then they could be needy and unstable because they're needy. And then maybe that can make them do something that seems, like ridiculous behavior because they're feeling needy. Or once again, it could just be the relationship is unstable, needy. You can't, it's reckless, and there's no top down looking at the relationship. It's just being in it. You're not looking at the forest, you're just in the trees. And it's so that when that happens, it's almost always like a reactive relationship, meaning nothing's intentional. It's all just reacting to whatever happened last, that kind of thing. It's also, I'm getting like an unwillingness to learn. I'm feeling like it. I can't put my finger on if it's the person that you're thinking about, or if literally it's the two of you within that relationship. I cannot figure it out if one is causing it, or if it's just you're two perfectly normal human beings that when you get together, you trigger each other and you just make it all big wacko problem. But But your third card is the Page of Pentacles. And, you know, if this is a business relation, it doesn't have to be a business relationship, but this is kind of well, it's not just a money card. It's a card about material things, okay? Material things. So earthly things such as money, what you own, just anything material, like to the touch. That's what Pentacles represents. And so what I'm feeling like, what's interesting about this is I feel like this relationship could be okay if you had a focus, if you had like a similar goal or something. I feel like this relationship could, it's like if the two of you you may actually already have the same passion, but you just, if you had a place to funnel it, you would get in sync. So I don't know if this is a business thing. I don't know what this is about, but it feels like if the two of you had an end thing that you both could focus on, you'd be a great little team, and that you wouldn't be so wonky and crazy. This card also is about, is about a positive opportunity, and that could mean that there will be a positive opportunity, or it just happened. But I think if there is, it doesn't have to be an opportunity, but if there is something that suddenly you guys both are in sync with, then I think that this could be a really good relationship. And I think it could be good certainly for business or something like that. But once again, love relationships, if you are in a love relationship and you plan on buying a house, or you're moving in together, or you're doing something together, lots of times money comes into play. So love relationships also have material issues around them. It's not just in the air. Unfortunately, we're on the ground and we're having to deal with earthly matters. Okay, your oracle card says quiet. It says, so basically what I think that means is calm down. Everybody the two of you need to calm down in this relationship and get centered, maybe even have a discussion about what it is that you would like to do together, but just don't be so scattered and pingy and wonky and unstable. Just calm down and think about it. And this oracle card says your spirit sparkles when you connect with what you love. And to me, that is telling me that in this relationship, that the two of you really could have a passion that goes in sync, and that if you had this passion in sync, like that would be the perfect thing for the two of you, because it would be like you would meld together in a really super positive way and move forward, which is what I think you need to do in your relationship with whoever you named, if you picked the touch reading. Okay, I hope that made sense, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.